Hi there, welcome back. So let's start with horizontal business card design document setup. So you know that if you are designing your products for your client, for your customer, or for anyone in this case, the most important part is how it's gonna print on any commercial printer or any digital press printer. Yes, this step is very important, as the same important as designing your products. So there are a few questions that must need to answer before you start designing your products or before sending it to be print. So what are those questions? Well, the first question, that have you set it the proper bleed for your document sheet? Well, what is bleed? Well, don't worry about it. I'm going to just talk about it when you're actually going to set our document. So just think about it. What's going to happen that if you are printing your graphics and the graphics color is actually going to be extended to all the way to the edge of your sheet, then where you actually you are going to extend your graphics. Well, that's the questions bleed is actually going to solve. Don't worry, I'm just going to explain it in a minute when actually going to start setting up our document. So the next question, that is safe zone area. So what is safe zone area? What happen if you just place all the information around your corner and at the time of printing it's gonna trimmed out? That is really horrible. So you need to place your all important information into safe zone area, and don't worry, I'm going to show you that how to create safe zone area. So this is the second question. So the third question is color choices. Have you made the proper color choices? You cannot go around and you can grab any color and just place it down here. It's not gonna work you expected, because you can grab any color and you can just go ahead and use it, but that is good for designing your graphics and placing into web, but it's not good for printing. For printing, you need to be careful while you're making your color choices. So you need to choose when to use uncoated color, when to use coated colors, and there's a lot of things. I'm going to explain it later in this movie. The next question, that what color mode you are going to use, RGB color mode or CMYK color mode, etc. So if you are going to use on web, then you can use RGB color mode, and when you are going to print your graphics, then you need to use CMYK color mode, which printer understand very well. So yeah, this is color mode. The next question is that what happen if you are going to just create multiple artboard in a single document, and if you just try to make use of the default guide Adobe Illustrator provide you. Well, that is gonna break, because what happen if you just have a one artboard the size of a 9 by 6 inch and another artboard which has size of 5 by 6 inch, and if you are just going to make use of this default guide Illustrator is actually providing you, then this guide is actually going through all over your artboard and is going to mess up with your artboards. So how to create custom guides in Adobe Illustrator? Well, that's also I'm going to show you here in this particular movie. So this movie is actually the base of all the video I'm going to create now and future. So just remember that this video is actually base, so that's why I have extracted that document setup in this particular video. So just watch it carefully, because this video is very important in terms of your document setup for your graphic design. Let's get started. So let me go to file here and go to new here, and you can see this is our new document setup window. So I request you to please concentrate here, because this is really important. So first of all, here you can see there's actually name here, so you can go ahead and give it a name of your document, and in this case I'm going to just paste here horizontal business card. This is the name of our document, and you can see here the next one is profile here, and by default it's actually set to print here. So by default Illustrator is assuming that you are going to print this graphics you're actually going to design right now. So remember that this is actually print here. So now here you can see this is print, but here you can see in advanced mode there's actually color mode here you can see, and here you can see color mode is now CMYK. So if you're printing your graphics, then this color mode is really important here, because this color mode printer understand very well. And here one more thing you can notice here, this PPI is pixel per inch, that is 300. So now you can see here, if I just go to here select print here, it's going to set color mode to be CMYK. What happen if I just go ahead and you can see there's a web, device, video and film, basic RGB. Well, if I just go ahead select here web, then just keep eye on this color mode here. See, now color mode is changed to RGB, red, green, blue, and PPI is 72 pixel per inch, 72. So this is really important, that if you are designing your graphics for the web, then you can just go ahead use this color mode RGB. But if you are designing your graphics to be get printed, then you must choose color mode to be CMYK, because CMYK color printer understand very well. Remember this guy, okay? So yeah, so now I'm going to just change the print here. Now here you can see second here is actually number of artboard. So how much artboard do you want? You can just go ahead and just give it a 1 2 3 4 5. It's really up to you. So you can just go ahead say here 2 here, and set 3. It's really up to you. Here you can see this is actually grid by row, grid by column, and simply arrange by row and arrange by column. It is really easy. You can just go ahead select it, and in this case I'm just I need 2 artboard, one for horizontal business card front side and second for horizontal business card back side. Great. This is actually fine for me. I'm going to arrange it by row here. So now spacing, obviously you can just go ahead and just place a spacing here. It's really up to you. You can set here columns. This is very simple here, but here's the most important thing. You see the size here later. Well, now by default Illustrator is showing us, okay fine, you're actually going to create letterhead and you can see this is a letterhead, and now the size of this, you can see the width is 612 pixel and the height is 792 pixel. This is actually by default letterhead size of US. So because this Adobe Illustrator is a US based company, it's setting the default size of letterhead in the US. But in the most cases you will find that this is actually the default size of almost all the country here. And actually what, this actually I worked with the 5 letterhead sizes, and don't worry about it, because when you actually go to letterhead design, there I will show you that what those 5 different sizes is, right? Great here. So here you can see actually this is really important here, is that you can see this units here. Well, units and points here, and points and pixel is almost same here, but we are actually going to work with graphics here, so we need to just design our stuff in inches. So I can just go to here and I can select here inches. So if you are designing something which is actually need units of something like millimeters, centimeters, then you can just go ahead use here millimeters and centimeters. Well, if you're designing your graphics for the web, you can use this pixels here, but here I'm going to print it out, and then I need actually inches here, so that's why I just select inches here. And you can see the default US letterhead size is 8.5 inch wider and 11 inch taller here. Okay, great. But we need horizontal business card here, so I'm going to just make it custom here. I'm going to make here 3.5 inch like wider and 2 inch taller here. Well, let me just tell you that this is actually the default horizontal business card size, 3.5 inch and 2 inch in almost every country. But if you are going to design some kind of a like custom size of business card, you can just go ahead place it here. It's really up to you, but this is default. You will find almost 90% of the horizontal business card in these sizes, so I'm going to stick with it, right? Great. Well, if you want it like vertical business card, you can just go ahead and you can see here there's an orientation. You can just click this one, and now it's going to switch here. See, now the height is switched to be 3.5 inch, the width is 2 inch wider. When we are also going to design the vertical business card, so don't worry about it. In this case, I'm going to just setting this document for horizontal business card, so I click this one, and now this is our horizontal business card setup. Great here. Now the next thing is really important here, that is actually our bleed. So what is the bleed here? Let me just explain you that let me just go ahead first of all hit this one. So I need one document to show you. So okay, and now this is actually our horizontal business card. This is 2 artboard here. Let me just go ahead select this guy first of all. And what is the bleed area? So the bleed area is actually the area which is outside of this trimline here. This is actually, these are the trimline here, and now the area outside of this trimline is actually the bleed. So why to set bleed? Well, what happen if you're just printing this business card and your printer is going to spread that color all the way to the edges of your sheet? So this is actually the edge here, and now if your color is going to spread over here, then your graphics is going to extend where? Well, your graphic is going to extend to the bleed area. Remember this one. This is really important here. So if your printer is really good at to spreading your color all the way to edges of your sheet, then the bleed area is here to rescue you. So it is really important to set here bleed. That's the bleed here. So now let's get back to here. And now what is the proper bleed area? Well, simply if you are just setting a bleed, the by default bleed is 1/8 of an inch here. So if I just go ahead, hit this guy, you can see, just remember this guy, see, if I just click this one, it's going to 0.125 inch. This is 1/8 of an inch, and this is the default bleed for almost all the graphic design you're actually going to do. But if your commercial printer is required some kind of a different bleed here, then just go ahead, check out that what bleed your commercial printer is going to need. Then you just go ahead and set it out. In the 90% of the time, this is the bleed is actually default for all the printer here. Remember this one. So you can see now it's at 0.125 inch to all the way to top, bottom, left and right. So this has happened because of this linked here. If I just go ahead unlinked it, and now if I just go ahead change this one, you can see it's only going to change this one. So I don't want that, right? I just want to be linked this one, and now you can see everyone is changed here. So now let me go down here, and I need 1/8 of an inch is 0.125 inch. So this is the bleed area. So what is the main point here? The main point is that you can see here the profile. So now you can see in this case custom here, but if you're printing, just remember that you can place a CMYK. This is very important. You can just go to advanced here, color mode, and you can see this is RGB CMYK. Go ahead, choose CMYK, and you're good to go. Now this is actually bleed area is 1/8 of an inch. If your commercial printer needs some like kind of a custom bleed, go ahead, check it out and set your custom bleed, which actually commercial printer is required, and that's it. Okay, great. So let me just go ahead and make this once again horizontal business card. Okay, fine. So this is our document setup here. Now I just go ahead, hit OK, and now you can see there's actually, you can see here there's a bleed area. Let me first of all get rid of this guy. I don't need this one. And now you can see this is actually red line. This is actually our bleed here, and this is exactly 1/8 of an inch. So during printing my business card, if that commercial printer is actually spreading the color to all the way of edges, then the graphic will be actually going to extend it to the bleed area and going to print it very, very well, right? Great. But this is not the only thing. You need to create the safe zone area. Well, what is safe zone area? Well, that is another 1/8 of an inch inside this business card. Let me show you. I just go ahead, first of all, I just click this one and hit Control 0, and we're going to bring that particular artboard here. And now you can see this is actually bleed area. This is our business card. Now I need my safe zone. So I'm going to paste all my important information into that safe zone area. So at the time of printing, if I'm going to trim out edges, then my relevant information or my most important information is not get trimmed out. Don't worry, I'm going to explain it in just a second. But before, let's go ahead and talk about safe zone area. Well, safe zone area is another 1/8 of an inch. So let me just show you. I just get back to here, and I'm going to simply create a simple box here. And now what I'm going to do here, basically I just go to here, transform. You can see here transform, click here transform, and here we need to set width and height. So you know that this business card have a width of 3.5 inch and height of 2 inch. So now the another 1/8 of an inch is actually, I'm going to just place here now now this is actually 3.5 inch width. So now here I'm going to place here 3.25 inch. Now I want the width of this particular box is 3.25 inch, and now here the height is actually 2 inch of this business card. So height is gonna be 1.75 inch, right? Hit OK. And now you can see this is actually our particular safe zone area, but we need to place it in center here. So how to place it in center? Well, you can see here there's actually a line here. Well, you can just go ahead, make use of this one, or you can simply just go to window here and just choose here align here, and this is also going to work fine. But now actually I'm going to make use of this align here. This is fine for me. And now what I can do, I just go to set here vertical align center, click this one, and I'm going to place here vertically center. And now then here I'm going to just place a horizontal align center, click this one, and now it's going to place it horizontally center here. You can see this is actually our safe zone area. This is another 1/8 of an inch. Let me show you. You can see here, if I just go ahead, grab this guy here, unit line CC. Now if I just go ahead and click here, and I'm going to drag it here, see here, and you can see this actually, see 0.13, I mean 0.125 inch, and if I just go down here, you can see here 0.25 inch, right? Great. So this is actually our safe zone area here. I'm going to get rid of this guy, and now you can see this is actually our safe zone area. This is awesome. So now whatever you're going to place inside this one is gonna be your safe side. I mean, you can just place most important information inside this safe zone area and just just free about worrying anything that is gonna trimmed out. Yeah, so this is the safe zone area. So now I know this is safe zone area, and this is, you can see here, this is actually the black stroke here. Well, I don't want this black box here. I just want to make it our guide. So this is gonna be our guide. Let me show you. There's another way to make guide here. I can just go ahead and place a Control R here, and I can just simply just go ahead place it here. You can see I can place it here, and it's gonna work fine, right? I can just go ahead, grab it here, I can place it here, and I can just go ahead, grab another one here, I can just place it here, and this is gonna be our guide. So this is our actually gonna be safe zone area, and you can place it here. But what is the problem? Well, you can see here, actually I'm just creating a simple artboard here with the same size. But what happens if you're going to create like something like like a vertical business card, and if you just go ahead create a vertical, do you think that is gonna work fine? Well, it's not gonna work fine. It's going to mess up with your vertical business card. So how do you solve this issue? Well, that is why I created this box here. So let me just go ahead and get rid of this particular this guides here. I don't want that guide here. So how to turn it into guides? Well, there's a shortcut. There's the Control 5, but let me show you how I can do that. But before doing so, what I'm going to do here, I just go ahead and first of all copy this one, and now I just go to this particular artboard because we need also this safe zone area into this backside here. I just go ahead, instead of Control V, I mean paste it here. Let me show you. I can paste a Control V. It's going to place it here, but I don't want that. I just want to paste into that place here. So instead of Control V, I'm going to just share Control Shift and V here, and now it's actually going to place here, right in the same place where I actually copied it. Well, if you don't remember the shortcut, go to here edit, and you can see paste in place. This is also going to work, right? Let me show you. If I just go ahead, get rid of this guy, and here edit, paste in place, and you can see it's actually pasted in the same place here. Great. So now how to make this guide here? Well, I can simply just get back to here view, and you can see here guides, and you can see there's a make guide. You can see there's a Control 5 here, so you can hit this Control 5, and now it's what's going to happen is actually going to make this guide. You can see now it's actually turned into guide here. Let me show you. You can see now this is actually squiggly, like the sky blue line. This is actually guide over here, and now this is fine. And now we have our safe zone area. We have created our custom guide here. Now let me just go ahead and get back to here and select this one and Control 5, and going to also turn to guide here. So now we have just designed our guide here, and we can actually go ahead and place our most important information, I mean all the information here inside this particular guide here, right? So what is actually a trimmed line? What I talked about trimming, well, let me tell you that. Let me show you. I just get back to here, and what I'm going to do here basically is that you can see this is actually area. I'm just going to create simple here, simple like kind of this ellipses here, or you can simply just go ahead. Let me just show you this. I just go ahead, and what I think that, okay, fine, this is my business card and this is my graphics here. I know this is a bad example, but this is going to show you that what exactly I just want to show you. I just go ahead, you can see, just think about it. This is our graphics, so it's all the way of this business card. So what happened if I just go to here file and just go ahead, and if I save as, and here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to just you can see there's actually the business graphics folder here and logo here, and here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to just just place it as a PDF here. Now I set here PDF here. I just go ahead and save here, hit, and now what gonna happen, you can see here, if I just, there's actually a setting here, and what happened here is if I go to this compression, or you can simply just mark and bleed here, I'm going to just place a trim mark here. Now what will happen if I just go ahead, and this is actually setting, there's a lot of person who actually do before sending their graphics to be print out. So going to trim marks here, and if I just go ahead save PDF, now what happened if I just go ahead and open that PDF. Let me show you. So here you can see this is actually our business card, which actually I saved as a PDF here, and you can see there's a corner is actually this is trimmed line here, this is trimmed mark here, and this is got trimmed out here. So now this is actually straight, and this is actually all the way off edges here. So what happened if the color is actually just came through here, and now you can see there's actually trimmed area is start from here. So now if your graphic is going to extended beyond these edges here, it's going to trimmed out. So that's why I placed here another 1/8 of an inch here safe zone area. So if your printer is going to just spread that color all the way to the edges here, this area, a graphic is going to extend it to here, and after that even you trimmed off your business card, it's not going to trimmed out here, and now your graphic is going to print very well. So this is what exactly trimmed means. Okay, I hope you understand. Great. And don't worry, I'm going to talk about it when you're actually going to export our graphics. Great. And here you go, I'm back to my Illustrator file, and now you can see I just go ahead, get rid of this card, and now you can see our business card document setup is almost ready here. Right? Great. So now let me just go to file here, and I'm going to open our logo here. So this is our logo here. Actually I have designed it. Well, this is the logo we are going to work in this movie, and this is not any fictional logo. This is the logo is actually of my upcoming course, and that name is the most important JavaScript interview questions. So that is actually the course which is actually an interview based JavaScript course there. Actually I got this idea from actually I recently visited to a startup company of my friend, and he wanted to me to hire some of the best JavaScript developer. So there's a lot of things happened there, so I will talk about it in this particular course here, but this is actually logo we are going to work in this particular movie. Great. So yeah, so what is the coated color and uncoated color here? Well, let me just explain you that coated color and uncoated color is actually printer friendly colors. So basically what happened that if you are actually going to print your graphics on hard paper, like in a business card is going to be hard paper, right? So you can use a coated color, but if you are going to print your graphics to be like something like a normal paper, like Letterhead is normal paper, then you can use that uncoated color. So where to find coated color and uncoated color? Well, what you can do basically here, you can just go to this color swatches here. I go to here, and you can just go to here color book, and here you can see in color book there's a lot of color here. Pantone color, you can see CMYK coated color, CMYK uncoated color. You can see here this is actually printer friendly colors, but here in this case I'm going to make use of this Pantone solid coated here and on solid uncoated. So if I just go to hit this solid coated color here, you can see here there's a lot of colors here, you can see, and you can actually choose a color from these solid coated colors. And if you do that, your printer is going to understand it very well, and your commercial printer is going to print it as expected. Is actually closely to 100% if you just pick color from this, right? So these are the coated colors. These are suitable for business card or hard CD cover, and or hard sheet, and uncoated for the normal sheet. Okay, so yeah, this is it. So this is actually coated color. Let me just go ahead, close it out, and here you can see actually if I just go ahead select this one, you can see now I use this coated color. You can see here is actually Pantone 1385C coated color, so I used it here. So this is a logo is suitable for hard copy printing here, but if I need to just print in Letterhead, I can just go ahead and I can simply just go ahead and choose any uncoated color. So this is what exactly coated color and uncoated color is, and don't worry, I'm going to explain it even in more detail when you actually go through the courses here. So yeah, this is our logo and this is our document here. Now our document is ready, our logo is actually ready here. So now let's go to our next movie and let's start designing our horizontal business card like professional. So thank you so much for joining in this movie. I hope you enjoyed this movie, you learned it, and if you didn't understand this particular movie, go ahead, watch it again and again and again and drill this into your mind. Well, if you watched it 2 or 3 times and still you didn't understand, then don't worry, just leave this movie off, follow me along with all the video, and then when you end this chapter, then go ahead, come back to once again this video and start understanding. I hope then it will actually going to make perfect sense to you. So thank you so much and see you in the next movie.